Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So today's satsanga, I would like to begin with the very prominent question in the world: how to gain the peace of the mind. It's $1 billion question. Fortunately answered in the text which Suddhatma ji mentioned, which is right now we are studying. The text is called Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha, written by Shankaracharya ji. And main thrust of this text is not Brahma Vidya, Atma Jnana. The thirst of this text is the preparation for Atma Jnana, qualification. And those qualifications are discussed very elaborately. And you know the qualifications, sadhan chatushte sampatti. If you open the book Tattva Bodha, you will find all the definitions, sadhan chatushte sampatti, etc. within 2-3 words. Shamaha. What is shamaha? Mano nigraha. Right? What is damaha? Indriya nigraha. What is vairagyam? Iha mutrartha phalabhoga viraga. Tattva-bodha also is, traditional acharyas believe that text also is written by Shankaracharya ji. There are certain doubts about that, but most of the traditional acharyas accept that Tattva-bodha is written by Acharya. And this Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha also is written by Shankaracharya. But here, qualifications are very much magnified. In this Sadhan Chatushta Sampatti, the first thing you know is a Viveka. All the time we talk about. And that is Nityanitya Vastu Viveka, because the human heart is seeking all the time a permanent solution of the problem. Human heart is seeking something permanent. Yeah? He's in search of something infallible. And that's natural desire. It will not go unless you address the desire and satisfy it. The search continues for the human being for this infallible in various directions. Nobody has even an idea that the infallible thing is not to be really acquired. It is to be known. It is to be discovered as oneself. And if you don't have this insight, then you continue to search. One who keeps searching, this is called a samsari. Searching for infallible. Okay. Second is vairagya. More vairagyam, more objectivity, healthier the mind. Not comes under the sway of the things. Knows exactly what is the value of a given thing in the world. Not knowing, generally there are 2 types of superimpositions. One superimposition in which you take a given thing, you superimpose a certain thing on you take one thing for the other, that's better. You take one thing for the other. We always give an example of, we have a stock example. And that stock example is this rope snake. Rope is taken as a snake. That's a one type of superimposition. That's a different issue. But other thing is you know the given object, but you superimpose a certain attribute on the object which it doesn't possess. That's called lack of vairagya. You superimpose some extra value on a thing which it doesn't possess. It has its own value. And then you are carried, overwhelmed. The mind which is overwhelmed is not a healthy mind. Why I describe all this? Because vairagyam, some negative features also looms large in a human being's mind. Vairagyam means some kind of he doesn't care of his, even outfit, and some kind of beard is growing and doesn't care for anything, and it's not. The person may be suited, booted, everything, but he knows exactly what is the value of a given thing. He doesn't superimpose any extra value, means his lack of subjectivity. Very healthy person, very healthy, is the rarest thing in the world. Vairagyam. Third is shamaha, shamadishatka sampatti. Shama, dama, uparamati, tiksha, shraddha, samadhanam. Shamaha is a shanti, peace of the mind, availability of the mind. When mind is full, it is available whenever you want to use. So shamaha has been defined as availability of the mind or the peace of the mind. And very interestingly, Shankaracharya ji shows 4 methods of gaining peace of the mind in this text called Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sarasangra. And I would like to share with you, because we are right now studying that. Generally, we don't come across this kind of elaborate methods of gaining peace of the mind. The first method is a sandwich method. You will be wondering, it's called sandwich method. The verse is like that. Because shamaha appears between vairagyam and damaha. Because viveka, vairagya, shama, dama, uparam, etc. So shama appears between vairagyam and damaha. So he says, if you want to increase the shamaha, means you want to gain the peace of the mind, relaxation of the mind, you want the availability of the mind should be more, then you increase these two. Automatically, what is in between increases. So more the vairagyam, more the relaxation of the mind, more available mind. That's one thing. And the second thing is, increase damaha, sensory regulation, not control. One lives life definitely by allowing the sense organs to be in the field of sense object. They have to contact. But they are like the horses, Kathopanishad says. These senses are horses. They like to graze in the field of sense objects. If you allow them, they will remain whole day. So instead, whenever it is required, send the sense organ to a respective sense object And when the job is done, bring it back and establish in its own house. That's called dhamma. Sensory regulation. If sensory regulation is more, then also the peace of the mind is more. More objects enter in our mind, creates varieties of the raga, dvesha, etc., anxiety, etc., and therefore person loses the peace of the mind. So if you want to increase, if you want to have a peace of the mind, well, increase these two. Shama appears in between. So it's a sandwich method. This is first. Second is, he says that mental turbulence is caused by 6 internal bacteria. And you should take care of each bacteria. First is a kama. Kama means a sense object or a desire for a sense object, both. Kamyate iti kama. What is desired also is called kama. Or the desire itself is called kama. Bhagavan says, well, I am the glory in a human being in form of the desire. Therefore, desire as such is not wrong. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamaha ahamasmi. 10th chapter. Dharma viruddha, aviruddha, dharma aviruddha. So, how to handle this kama? Kama has been described as a cobra with 2 fangs. Puja Swamiji used to tell that you defang this cobra. You need not kill the cobra. You have to defang. Desire is for what? Desire is for fulfilling. We have to fulfill through our gaining sense objects. You work for it. When desire arises for a given object, already 1 fang is on. That's called anxiety of fulfillment. All along it will remain. It will remain. Why it should remain? Because you are not sure. You are not sure the desire will be fulfilled. Desire will be fulfilled in the future. And future is something which is not in anybody's control. You can contribute to the future. You cannot control the future. And therefore, so we have to be mentally prepared that since future is not under my control, I am a contributory factor for the future. My desire may be fulfilled, may not be fulfilled. So ask Ishvara that give me strength. Even when the desire is not fulfilled, I should be able to take it in a positive way. If you have this, then you have defanged. 1 fang has gone. Anxiety. Desire before fulfillment has this fang. Anxiety. And you have seen that even if it is fulfilled, it may be partially fulfilled sometimes, or not fulfilled either. And therefore, there is another fang also. And that fang is, grief, sorrow. Even though it is fulfilled. In fact, to be honest with you, even if the desired object you gain that object at a time when you really don't need it. One thing. After you gain the object, you have understood the limitations of the object and you felt that why did I desire such a thing? Everyone has this experience. And therefore, the second fang of this cobra called desire is grief after fulfilling, before fulfilling anxiety. So as the desire arises, they say you should do this thing. You should do homework in order to avoid mental turbulence. Any immoral desire, I will not fulfill. I will put it into garbage. That's the first resolution. Second resolution is this, that I will prepare my mind so that this cobra, will not bite me. I will defang them by preparing myself, by praying, etc., by taking Ishvara's help. And so by this way, karma can be, and then you can definitely, one should have a karma which are legitimate, illegitimate we should not fulfill, legitimate desire we can definitely fulfill, but with this mental preparation. Second bacteria is krodha, anger. We should know this thing, anger cannot be controlled, cannot be removed. Anger can be managed. This is the first resolution. Anger can be managed. And so you educate your mind that whenever you get angry, you lose three important values. Very important values. Very first thing mind is angry means the relaxation of the mind has gone. Samatvam is lost. Second is, whenever a person is angry, he loses sukshmatvam. He loses sukshmatvam, sensitivity and consideration for others. And in a mode of anger, person may shout at his own teacher, he may beat the mother, father, anything can happen. Losing sensitivity. And third is, they call it savadhanatvam, deliberation. Person will lose, if you are deliberate in your thought and actions, your actions are of one type. When you are angry, then you definitely lose this deliberation. You become impulsive in thought and impulsive in action. And impulsiveness is the greatest enemy of the human being. So repeatedly educating your mind, these are just, I have to tell you in short, one can take care of a second bacteria called krodha. And third is lobha. Simple thing. Lobha means if that is there, you will not be able to enjoy what you have. All the time you have a feeling of that you have missed something. And our one Swamiji used to give an example that, before years, many years, that somebody of his student went to some fair, trade fair. And he went on the very first day. He bought a ticket for entry. Along with they gave some that lottery coupon, draw coupon, something like. And fortunately, he won the first prize. He got that HMT watch. In those days, HMT watch. It's a really good watch. And so he was so happy, and then he came and saw Swamiji, and then Swamiji said, "Oh, congratulations. You won the first prize, etc." He went back. Then the second day, evening, he came again to see Swamiji. And he was very sad. He was very sad. Then Swamiji said, what happened? Yesterday you were so happy, you won the first prize, etc. No, no. What happened is I came to know today, the person who has won the first prize, he got that Vespa scooter. So if I could have gone today, I would have won it. So he's not happy with what he has gained. In fact, that is itself is a gain. But he has a big loss of losing the scooter. So this is called greed. Then fourth is matsaraha. Madaha, that's better. That we'll discuss at end. Madaha. Madaha means haughtiness, arrogance. Arrogance of what I have. In terms of physical beauty, in terms of skills, in terms of knowledge, in terms of certain resources. I feel I am the owner of this. That's the biggest delusion, that I am an owner. Everything has been given, as Puja Swamiji very nicely said. Everything has been given to you for use. You are not the owner. Ishvara is the owner. That's what 10th chapter describes. All Vibhutis, Bhagavan says, wherever you see any kind of a glory in terms of intelligence and other things, it's all my glory. Ishvara is the owner. But this person, well, if this particular bacteria, well, madaha, and this, wherever the arrogance is, we cannot expect a mental peace. That's for sure. So kamaha, krodaha, lobaha, moha. Fifth, okay. Moha, delusion. The greatest delusion is this, as per the Vedanta. One is basically searching for the security, peace and happiness. And that is there. It is in particular being, particular thing, particular situation. Particular place is a source of happiness, Swamiji. Particular place is a source of gaining peace. Particular person's association is a source of joy, peace, etc. Particular person I want to relate to so that I will be secure, etc. That's the greatest delusion. Everything is born in the creation which is time bound. What is time bound? Is insecure. Then it cannot give security. But this person has. One who comes on this path, he tries to gain security initially. Who is a karma yogi? Definitely. He tries to gain security by surrendering to Ishvara. He searches security through Ishvara. And later on when he gains jnanam, well, the source of security is oneself. So that is why the person who comes on this path, well, definitely is free from this moha. Definitely. Free from delusion. And what is left now? Matsara. Matsara. Jealousy. This is the only value which doesn't have any basis. Jealousy has no basis at all. No, Swamiji, I'm jealous of so-and-so person. Are you jealous of the entire that person? No. Certain aspects, I feel I'm better than that person. And in particular aspect for which you have a jealousy, can you really locate in a person? No, you can't. Like suppose you have good knowledge and I am jealous of you. Where will you locate knowledge in the person? Whatever is an object of jealousy, it is non-separate from the person. Either a skill of a person, knowledge of a person, a beauty of a person, either whatever. And you don't basically, entire person is not a object of your jealousy. You cannot locate it also. And when you are jealous of that person, he is jealous of you in certain other aspect. Anyway. So this is the value which really creates a heartburn. And throughout the life. And the biggest example is Duryodhana. Whole life, looking at the Pandavas, he was burning inside. And finally also, not a good solution came out of it. He destroyed himself. So, these are the 6 bacteria which bring mental turbulence. Well, one has to take care of it by educating your mind. That is what Shankaracharya says as a second method in this text called Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sarasangra. Third is, Ishwara Anugraha. Ishwara Anugraha. By grace of Ishwara, you can be free from, because that is what you want. And you can earn Ishvara's grace by various means, by 3 types of actions. Either a puja, either a japa, either a chanting stotras, etc. Well, one can acquire. And at the end, after doing namaskara at least, you can ask that make me free from these 6 bacteria which I can't take care of on my own. And there is one text Shankaracharya has written one particular, it's called Shivananda Lahiri. There are many Lahiris. One of that is this, Shivananda Lahiri, in which Shankaracharya ji addresses Shivji and says that you have taken one of the avatara as a hunter. I know you love hunting. Shivji has taken he has become a hunter for Arjuna. There is a poem by Bharavi called Kirata Arjuniam. And Kirata means a hunter. So Bhagavan became a hunter for the sake of Arjuna. So Shankaracharya says, I know that you love hunting. And perhaps, you might have moved for hunting to many places, but I will show you a very, very good place for hunting. What is that place? First he describes that it's a very big forest with a lot of wild animals, lot of trees, and there is an ample darkness all the time, which will help you to kill the animal. And, what is that place? He says, my own mind. Ignorance is there, darkness is there all along. And so many complexities, many trees are there, and all wild animals. Matsarya, Moha, all these 6. I will read for you. I think I am able to read. I am reading the verse. Magachattum itastato girisha bhomayeva vasam kuru. Swamin nadi kirata mamaka manaha kantara simantare vartante bahushaha mrugaha madajusho matsarya mohadayah tan hatva mrugaya vinoda ruchita labham cha samprapsasi. So Shankaracharya says it's a win-win situation. You will get a big hunting ground. For days together you can hunt all these wild animals called this Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, etc. So you will also get, and I will be free from these wild animals. My mind will be free from these wild animals. Like that, there is a prayer to Lord Shiva in the Shivananda Lahiri. This is a third method of gaining peace. And the fourth one means Ishvara Anugraha. And the fourth one is developing values. Which values? Which has been described in Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter, Amanitvam, Adimritam, etc., or the 16th chapter beginning called Daivi Sampat, Abhayam, Sattva, Samshuddhi, etc., developing these values. How to develop the values? Tomorrow satsang, evening. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.